Hello, friends. Okay, so we have been talking about how to make square root graphs, how to graph them, how to know where the key point is, and how to find the domain and the range. Now what we're going to do is we are going to look at a graph and write the equation for the graph. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to find our key point. So where's our key point? It's right here where our graph begins. So that key point is going to be -1, and my y value is -5. All right, everyone see how we got that? -1, -5. Now, I know the graph is positive, so I'm going to write my equation, y equals, and I'm going to write my square root. Now, the first thing I need to do is look, did my graph move left or right? And let's look, it did move this way 1 unit. So if we remember from our little chart, if it moves to the left, we are going to put +1. So x plus 1, the square root of x plus 1. Now we need to look, did the graph move up or down? And we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It moved down 5. So outside the square root, I'm going to put -5. All right, so now I can go into my calculator and I can plug that in. Y equals the square root of x plus 1. Then you would push your little arrow. Don't forget to push your arrow right here. And then do -5. And you could check your graph to see if it was right. Now let's take a look at our domain. So let's put our brackets. Domain, x values, right? So where does it start? What x value does it start? So I can look at my key point. It starts at -1 and always positive infinity. All right, now we're going to take a look at our y for our range. And it starts here at -5. And the graph is going up. So it's going to be positive infinity. All right, and that, my friends, is how we find the first graph. This is what our assignment's going to look like today, but let's go through a couple of more examples so that you guys can get some practice here. All right, please bear with my handwriting as I'm trying to do this on my screen today. All right, so what do we know about this graph? It is going upside down. So that tells me right away that I'm going to have a y equals negative because it's flipped. Negative square root. So I'm going to go ahead and put my x in. All right. Now let's find our key point. My key point is right here on the x-axis. So my key point is 0, comma. Oops, did that backwards. My key point is 3, comma 0. All right. So did my graph move left or right? It moved to the right 3. So it's going to be -3 underneath the square root sign. Did it move up or down? No, it did not. It's on the x-axis. So that is our equation. So let's take a look at our domain. Where does it start? On the x. It starts right here at 3. And our domain always is positive infinity. Let's look at our range. Our range did not start up here, didn't start down here, started at 0, and it's going down. So what kind of numbers are down here? Negative infinity. All right, so remember, a downward graph is going to have 2 things important. It's going to have a negative sign in front of it, and it's going to have a negative infinity for my range. All righty? All right, let's get another one. All right. So this one's pointing upward, so I know I'm not going to need any kind of negative sign. I am going to need a y equals. I'm going to need the square root. Okay, so let's look at our key point. Our key point right there is -2, and our y value is 3. All right, so it moved to the left 2. So that's going to be x plus 2. Oops. X plus 2. And did it move up or down? Why, yes, Miss Miller, it did. It moved up 3. So my plus 3 is going to be outside the square root sign. All right, my domain, my x values, where does it start on the x? It starts right here at -2, always positive infinity. Okay, my range, I'm going to take a look at my key point, which is 3. It's going up, so positive infinity. This is easy, right? You guys will do this with no problem. All right, I think I have one more example for you. Oh, my graph is going down. So right away, I know that I'm going to have this nice negative sign right there. All right, so let's look at my key point. All right, it's on the x-axis. So my key point is 1, 0. All right, so now I need to look, did it move left or did it move to the right? It moved this way to the right, 1, so it's going to be a -1. Did it move up or down? Did it move up here? No. Did it move down here? No, it did not. So there's going to be nothing out here. This is going to be blank. So I'm just going to leave that blank. So my equation would be y equals the negative square root of x minus 1. Now remember, plug this into your calculator, look at the graph so that you can see if that's what it looks like. All right, our domain is going to start with 1, go to infinity. Our range always starts with this key point, 0. It's going down, 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 down. What kind of infinity is down there? Negative infinity. All right. Remember, plug it in your calculator. All right. Oh, we do have one more. Okay. Let's take a look at our key point. Let's see. We've got a -6 for our x value, and we have a -5. All right. So my graph is going upward. So y equals. All right, so did it move left or right? It did. It moved to the left, 6. So x plus 6. Did it move up or down? Right, it moved down. As a matter of fact, it moved down 5. So my -5 is going to be outside the square root sign. Guys, you got to make sure there's a really good distinction here between inside the square root sign and outside. So make sure there's a good space there so I can tell the difference, okay? All right, and now let's look at our domain and range. Our domain, oops, we're going to keep it in green. Our domain is going to be -6, infinity. And our range is going to be -5. And remember, it's going up, so that is a positive infinity. And that, my friends, is the end. Now, don't forget, plug it in to y equals so that we can make sure that the graphs match. Okay? All right. I'm going to do this last one, but if you guys think you know what's going on, you can go ahead and stop the video. But let's just look at it for people that might need a little bit extra help. Okay. Key point right here at -4. So 0, -4. All right. So is it a positive graph or a negative graph? It is a positive graph. So y equals the square root of x. All right. Did it go left or right? Did it go this way or this way? No, it did not. So I'm not going to put anything else underneath my square root sign. Did it go up or down? It went down. So -4 is outside of the square root sign. And then my range, 0, infinity. And my domain. My range is, where does it start? -4. It goes up, so positive infinity. All right, guys, you have a little assignment to do. and not very many questions. Please be good for the sub, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening.